not yet, not yet. You know what to do, Mr. Black.
I got you.
He about to play it.
D-Lo Brown, you done messed up, D-Lo. You should never let me do this. You done messed up. Hold on.
We can hear it.
Sorry, I out in the streets.
They've been waiting to do this for the last almost 2 years. Legit have been waiting to do this.
I love it.
Brown, man.
Good evening, Domination. Welcome to an exclusive, exciting episode of the JTP Lounge. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. and with a very, very special guest to the Job and Tears podcast. I'm going to let him introduce himself because I don't think I can do him justice. So let the viewers and listeners know who you are if they don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know my name by now, it's D-Lo Brown. You better recognize, you better be down with the Brown. What's up, people? What's going on?
He even gave a head. Yo, Mr. Black is losing it slowly.
Yo.
Actually, the both of them are probably losing it. So I was telling
Kanisha, what up, baby?
Earlier today, I said I actually met you 2 years ago at WrestleCon here in New York. And I had told you, I said, listen, I got 2 co-hosts, they're brothers, and they love you. I said, but you have to, and then you was like, okay, this is the way to stick it to them. Take a picture with the European title. So I have a picture with you. And I sent it to them. I'll send it to you guys. I sent it to them, and then Mr. Black goes, really? Like, this is what's going on?
I almost cried, man, because
he did.
This is huge. This is
like, we definitely have had some really, really special guests, but having you, D-Lo, is definitely an honor for all of us. So thank you for joining us tonight. I'm gonna let, of course, Mr. Black start off with the first question of the evening.
I'll go. Let him smile.
He's stuck.
So, first things first, you're a legend in our eyes. You're a legend. And before we get started with questions, we're going to give you your flowers. I did a whole coffee talk episode on you. You are a double champ, European and Intercontinental champ at the same time. One of only 4 people in WWE, WWF history to do that.
And he was black.
You we spoke about this in pre-production. Your longevity in this business is unheard of. Many people don't work in this business for so long, and you said it yourself. You haven't missed a check since when? Say it.
19 wrestling check, and
yeah. You've been working for so long. You are a part of one of the most, like, I can't even put it in words right now. Like
legendary.
It's even bigger than that. One of the most impactful groups in sports entertainment history. That is, you're a legend in our eyes, and one day you'll get into the WWE Hall of Fame. But you've done so much, and I don't want to start off with questions. It's time for you to get your flowers. Especially that people who look like you. You represented us, the Black wrestling fan, tremendously well throughout your career. Low-key, your Impact career was low-key popping, but people ain't ready for that.
Tag team champion with AJ Styles. Woo! Man, underrated. Don't forget, he was down with New Jack. He was in 2 legendary groups. Nobody give him credit.
We definitely gonna ask about your New Jack time, because that
New Jack Mustafa. Come on, B. Come on.
So let me throw some flowers.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, the sound.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate speak your mind.
Wait, hold on, D-Lo. You're breaking up again. You're breaking up. You're going back and forth.
What the heck? Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but you're breaking up. Hold on. Say something.
3, 7, 9.
Try it with oh, damn it.
It's a little delayed.
I'm gonna try a different.
Hold on. See
Of
if
course,
that
when we
works.
gave shit to Mr. Black, did it happen?
See, Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
all his fault.
He says your fault.
I know.
Me now.
How is it now? Say
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Some flowers back. Cheap, strong. You three are
Wait. Hold on.
presenting.
We got in some technical difficulties.
He should come out and come back in.
Yeah.
So come out and come back in. So end it. End yours. Hold on. Let me take him out.
Because we're not going to not do him due justice.
Hold on. Let me take care of it.
Yeah, it's
Look, you don't even know how to act. Yeah, it's D-Lo.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told him to come back. He'll come back in. So we'll what's going on, guys? So what's up, everybody, for joining us right now? We're having a little technical difficulties. How's
It wouldn't
everybody's
be
day?
right. Oh,
How's
goodness.
everybody's day?
good.
Long.
Okay,
I'm
he's
over
back.
it.
Let's see if this works now. D-Lo? D-Lo?
You there?
Yeah, I hear you. Now,
Okay. Is that better now?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Woo!
All right. So let me start this speech again from the third time.
Right, because it was like I didn't want to miss it. So go.
So before I get started, I want to throw something back at y'all and tell you how much I appreciate strong black voices in wrestling, and how you come out here and represent yourself, and you represent the black wrestling fan in a very positive way, because we have a voice. We're a very large percentage of the crowd that is out there, and we're almost forgotten sometimes. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are out there putting it down and representing, and I thank you for that. Keep it going. Keep your voices going. Keep screaming at the top of your lungs, because eventually everyone's going to have to listen.
We definitely do scream.
Yeah, no.
It's okay. I've seen some shows.
They
No. You scream. Mr. Black, you scream. Never mind. I'll put it. So,
but no, thank you.
I appreciate it, and this is a love fest back and forth, because it's my pleasure to be on the podcast tonight. So, thank you for having me.
Let's first start with you joining the nation with your cheap suit that you got randomly at some spot. How was a lot of that we're going to talk about? We all know the history and everything, but I want to know the feeling of you working, you training, and then you finally about to get that check from WWE, WWF at the time. What was that feeling when they call you up like, yo, go grab a suit. We're about to put you in this program with the nation.
Well, when I got the phone call, it was from Jim Cornette, and he didn't tell me what it was for. He just asked me if I had a suit. And of course, I didn't have one. I was broke as hell, but I said yes. And then I ran my ass down to Goodwill and said, hey, you got a suit that fit my big ass? And luckily I found one. And then, I had my flight to New York, so I flew to New York. Made my way down to the arena where it was this like bar where we did Shotgun Saturday Night. And then when I got there, I found out they were going to put me in the nation. I was going to be bow tie guy. I was going to be that dude who's going to take bumps for the nation. Dude, talk about being excited. first of all, growing up, I'm a fan of Ron Simmons, right? So now I get to sit right next to him at the table, so to speak. So here it is. I'm the guy who inspired me. I get to be next to, and it was just I could not put it in words how I felt. Like it was the most perfect day ever. Nothing go wrong, and I guess that's why I agreed to do that bump when I met Johnson on the top of the car, because I didn't care. I had my dream job sitting next to my mentor. Life was good.
All right, so I got a question.
Okay.
What's the one thing that you learned from when you was with Mustafa and New Jack that you still carry on to this day? Like, I want to get to the serious life lesson stuff first. Then I want to hear the jokey stories, because I know you got some stories, dogs.
Right, because you guys used to probably rip each other all the time.
The one thing I learned from New Jack and Mustafa is speak your mind and don't put up with any BS. This is not a friendly and kind business to anyone. So when you have an opinion about something, speak it, put it out there, and let them know that you're smarter than just the average person or wrestler. Let them know you understand this business. Let them know what you're speaking on, you believe in, and don't put up with any bullshit. Pardon my French.
Is that why you fought
we
Ahmed
cuss
Johnson?
all the time?
Yeah, we do.
I ain't gonna speak on him.
No, I know.
No,
but
why not? Because I just feel like Ahmed was just the oddball out. Like, what?
No. I want to say this. You beat Ahmed Johnson for weeks on television. Then all of a sudden, you want to be down with y'all? No.
It was real phony. It was super phony at that point.
No, because I heard you say that it was when you first started. Tell me if this is true. He was saying some wild, dumb shit, and then you looked at him like, "Yo, bro, that's some real dumb shit you saying right now, and you being hella disrespectful." And then you put the hands and feet on my man Ahmed Johnson. So tell me, because if New Jack told you, if people say your dumb shit and speak your mind, you spoke your mind supposedly this time.
Oh,
and put the hands
man.
and feet on him.
I'll put it like this. I spoke my mind, particularly when it came to Ahmed. I made my stance known and clear. And my grandma always told me, if you have nothing good to say about someone, don't speak their name. Now, he who will not be named is a dumb son of a bitch.
But the crazy part is it showed like you couldn't deny, like it was just like certain things. It was like, what? And then you almost end Ron Simmons' career by being foolish. It was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, and look, he's out of the business. I'm still in it. I'll leave him alone. But I know he spoke a few weeks ago about me being unsafe in the ring, and all I know is I can get 100 people who says they don't ever want to be in the ring with him again, and so I'll take the same 100 people, and they'd have a match with me tomorrow. Even old and at 50, they'll have a match with me tomorrow.
That is true.
So quickly, let's move past that. Let's move to the positive stuff. What was one of your high points during that Attitude Era? Mm-hmm. Like, for you personally, what was a high point where you're like, yo, I'm living like a king?
I got two moments. The first is when Ron Simmons fired the entire nation but kept me. That moment is like for me, that's the company saying, we believe in you, so you're staying. We don't like the rest of them, they're gone. So that was a pat on the back. That second one, which is probably the one that sears my memory the most, is becoming the Eurocontinental champion and holding those belts up, and then hearing the crowd and going, "Damn, they've connected with me." This is getting real. Like, this is the moment I've been wanting since I was 11 years old, is I'm standing on top of the wrestling world and everyone is telling me how much they like it. So those are the two moments that are always right here.
So I have a question. Mojave. So this is like one of the biggest debate questions I feel like in more recent is who has the best frog splash? So my first part of the question is, what made you decide to do the frog splash and the way that you do it?
Mm-hmm.
And then, in your opinion, outside of you, who has the best frog splash in the business?
So growing up, I was a fan of World Class Championship Wrestling, and they had a team called Los Gringos Locos, which was Eddie Guerrero and a guy named Art Barr. Art Barr created the frog splash, and the way I did it was the exact same way he did it. Now Eddie started doing it his version after Art Barr passed away. So we're both paying homage to the same person. In terms of who's got the best frog splash, hell, they're all great. It's tomato. I mean, like, we all have our own spin on the move, but to me, the move is phenomenal and amazing. And I was captivated by, watching it on TV. And that's why I was like, I don't care how big I am, I'm going to go do the frog splash. So I can't tell you who's got the best. I can just tell you that we're all paying homage to the same person as Art Barr because he's the creator of it.
Let's talk more about your character. How did you, because especially during the time that we're still in the Attitude Era, character work was very important. And how did you come up with it, bring it all together, the head shake? We heard the stories before, but we would love to hear it again. But coming up with that persona, D'Lo Brown.
Different parts of the character came from different parts of my life. Like, the swagger I had was the same guy I was when I was playing football. Like, that was a dude on the field. I'd sack the quarterback and look at the opposing team and go, "Are you not entertained?" And that's where the, arms out and the kind of looking around and being bigger than life. So when I got into wrestling, it was broken in my head, like, find a character that is relatable to you, that's a small part of you, and then blow it up 1,000 times and make it bigger than life. So I took that, that person on the football field who was D'Lo Brown but didn't have a name. He was just that guy with that swagger. And then the head shake came from watching Friday. I tell it's Chris Tucker, you got knocked up, So the head shake came from there. And then the strut down to the ring kind of just came from being caught between two places of shaking my head and walking, and the shoulders start swinging. So I was like, I'm feeling this. Let's go. So that's kind of how the character came together. And it was like, to know me in real life, I'm so far removed from who I am as a wrestler character. So it was always my chance to be the guy I always wanted to be. And I get to play that out on a nightly basis. So that's where D'Lo came from. He's like, the guy I always wanted to be, add in the football me, add in Chris Tucker from Friday, add in a little bit of, I'm being young and arrogant in general. And that's where the character of D'Lo Brown came from.
I love it. I absolutely love it. The chest plate.
Yes.
You got the character, then you get this chest plate out here hurting people, kayfabe style.
Deadly.
Looking cool. Where did the chest plate come from, man? And did you even like it?
No, I to be honest, I hated the idea. It came from Jim Ross, and it was one day I was sitting in catering, and JR came down and sat down in front of me, started eating. I'm like, that happens all the time, so it's no big deal. But then he goes, "Hey, D'Lo, I got an idea," and I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "How about we give you an injury like Iron Mike Sharp, maybe to your chest, because you should finish a frog splash." And I was like, I'm sitting there going, okay. You always say yes to everything. I was like, okay. And then as I walked away, I was like, that's the stupidest idea ever. I'm gonna look like Johnny Bench out there sitting behind home plate waiting for a fastball, and you want me to go? I'll be the joke of the wrestling world. So I go home. I'm flying home. I'm living the whole way on the plane. I'm talking to myself. Let me wear a damn chest protector. What the hell is he thinking? All the gimmicks out there. Me, chest protector. So I get home and I talked to my fiance at the time, who later became my wife. Who, never mind. And she said to me, at least try it, because if it's a crap idea and you try it, it failed because of them. But if you don't do it, it failed because you didn't try it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, all right. So I remember calling JR up, and I was like, okay, I'm down. Let's do it. And then, they hurt me with Dan Severn hurt me the next week on TV, and I think it was like a month later, I came back out, and it was in Pittsburgh where I ran down, and Rock was wrestling Ken Shamrock, and I frog splashed Ken Shamrock for the first time with the chest protector on, and to my amazement, the crowd booed the hell out of me. They didn't laugh at me, they booed me. And I went, holy hell, this thing might work. Holy hell. And so the next day on TV, I owned it. I was D'Lo Brown, chest protector, fake abs and all. I was owning it.
You talk a lot about crowd reaction.
Yeah.
A couple of times you've mentioned it. Do you have like a newfound respect for some of the guys today who are, especially in Impact, putting on shows, putting on great matches, cutting promos without a crowd? So they don't get, like you just said, that chest protector, you knew it was over because of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts with, because of the pandemic, they have no choice, but what are your thoughts on that and some of the feedback you've gotten from that?
I absolutely have a completely newfound respect for those guys and girls that go out there and they go put on these hella matches with nobody out there, no interaction. Because from the day I got into wrestling, and you guys know this, it's about that instant feedback. Mm-hmm. I do something, and a tenth of a second later, I know if they like it or not. And I was trained that that's how you listen to the crowd. That's how you feel yourself. That's how you build your match, is by interaction and then working with what they give you. To have these young men and women go out there and the only sound they hear is the bumping of the ring, it is amazing to me the quality of matches that we pull off every Tuesday night Impact or across the business. Like, I don't know if I could go out there tonight, right now, and have a match, because I'm so accustomed to that crowd telling me, instantly reminding me of what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. So my hat's off to any of the talent to go out there and go pull it off. I mean, it's simply amazing. And like when I get to call the matches, it's even more astonishing because I'm just focusing on them, and I know there's nobody around, and they're still laying down matches that you go, hell, those are amazing. So I'm in awe of them.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you joining the commentary on Impact.
I told him that. I told him pre-production.
Boy, don't get me wrong. We're not crapping on the other people.
No, we are. No.
But
we did.
But the first night,
we're not gonna lie.
They switched over. I just feel like the product got the proper seasoning. Like
it was night and day.
Put the lorries on it, B. Like the little stuff you do. Like every time that when like Mantar comes out, you mentioned how big he was, how intimidating he was, all the little details. So somebody who don't know nothing about him, be like, yo, this guy's mad interesting. Like you gave him backstory who he was before. That's key in commentary. And both of y'all did it. Y'all saved Impact commentary team. Yo, y'all make every Tuesday night must see. Like your reaction, like how you became like, yo, with the whole suicide, the way that you played dumb, I was just like, come on, D'Lo, man. You can break kayfabe, dogs. You can break kayfabe a little bit, dog. Like, come on. Perfect, dogs. Thank you. How was your reaction when you heard that you was getting the job?
And first I'll say thank you. We try our best out there every night, and it's. I think of wrestling like that. My beautiful girlfriend. It's like I always like talking fondly about her, and no matter what, she's perfect. And that's how wrestling is to me. So when I'm calling it, I'm calling from the heart, and it's my beautiful girl. Like wrestling is my love, my passion. So when I talk about her, you're hearing that love come out of me. You know, you're just hearing that love come through my voice about what I generally enjoy watching. And I know with Stryker on my side there, he's the same way. We love what we're doing. We love what we're seeing. We love talking about it. And that's where that, I don't know, that passion comes from when I'm talking about wrestling. When I got the call, Scott DeBar gave me a call. I don't know, it was about 9:00 at night my time, and we start talking. Normally we talk and just, you know, we've known each other for 30 years, so we just talking, you know, about nothing. And then he goes, "Hey man, before we let you go, I think you're gonna be the new voice of Impact. You've been a commentator." And I was like, "What? Excuse me? What'd you say there?" Yeah, he goes, "I think we're gonna make a change at the desk, and we'd like you to be part of it." And so, of course, rule number one in wrestling: always say yes and think about it later. I said, "Of course, I want to do it, yes." And then I hung up the phone and go, "Oh God, I hope I'm gonna be good enough. God, I hope I can be good at this, because you can't fall on a national stage." I'm like, but then I said to myself, you know what? This is a challenge. This is everything you want. You want that next challenge. You know, you did it in the ring and you did it backstage. Now can you do it in front of everybody again? And I took it as a challenge, and like I jumped into it, both feet full on, ready to go. And my job, I'll tell you what I think. My job is to become the best color analyst in wrestling and in sports. That's my mentality. That's what I want to strive to be, because I'm not half in anything. Either I'm all in or I'm all out. And for me, sitting behind that desk, I want to be the best in the business. And if you're doing this for any other reason to be the best in the business, pick another business.
Okay, so so I'm about to go really deep. You was there when it was NWA TNA, right? Boom.
Yes.
You was there when it was TNA Impact on Spike, right?
Yep.
During the Hogan era. Now
Yikes.
Now you are here when it's Impact, new channel, everything. Let me ask you a question. What's the one thing in each era, not this era because y'all still doing it, y'all killing it. What's the one thing that you felt that, yo, we should have been a lot further if they did this in the whole NWA era, and if they did this in the whole Spike TV era?
I think in the Spike TV era, I think Ace and Eight should have lasted longer and gotten a bigger shove. Like I thought Ace and Eight was cutting edge and badass, and I think Ace and Eight's legs got cut from underneath of it when it was just about to take off. So I think Ace and Eight should have lasted longer. As you know, the whole NWA TNA era, that's a tough one. I think this should have been, you know, there was a huge focus on the NWA title at the time, and I think maybe there should have been, you know, different or younger blood that was given an opportunity at that time for the NWA TNA title. And I think that would have, like a guy like AJ Styles was perfect, but I think he was given, you know, he was eventually given it to him, but he could have gotten it sooner and run further. If
Monty
that makes
Brown.
Sense.
Don't forget about Monty Brown.
Monty Brown was another one who I thought should have had a championship run, without a doubt. I thought Monty Brown was hella talented, could speak, had the look. He had the package for wrestling. You know, if you want to put a picture of a wrestler out there. Monty Brown's on that page, and I thought he had, and he had the whole NFL crossover, so he had that connection that you could have used in the mainstream, because Monty Brown winning would have instantly put us on ESPN. You think about that in 2004 when it's commonplace now, but back then it wasn't. So I those are the things I think we could have done differently back then.
Wow.
Now we talk about a little bit of the past and we talk a little bit about the present and future kind of thing. My question to you would be, what's a few of the biggest struggles that you encountered that you feel has gotten better over time? Because, with you guys in Nation, it was a totally different era, totally different struggle, totally different trying to get TV time, versus now where I feel like people that look like us is everywhere. So what are your thoughts on the transition in terms of Black wrestling throughout the the past few decades?
Well, I think it's really encouraging the fact that now Black wrestlers aren't Black wrestlers, they're just wrestlers. And we're growing and getting into the mainstream. And now it is not, oh my God, is a Black world champion. It's, oh my God, Rich Swann is world champion. So it's not about, our color does not define us. It is who we are, but it does not define who I am. So you don't have to affix it to my name and go, it's a Black color commentator. How about I'm just a color commentator? How about I'm just a wrestler? How about it is normal for me to achieve greatness instead of it being, oh my God, look what he did. So I think over the last 15 to 20 years, you look at guys like, Moose and Rich Swann and Willie Mack, and you look at Kofi Kingston, and you look at guys like Big E, and then it becomes, it's normal now. It's normalized now. And that's how, to me, that's what defines us as Black wrestlers, the fact that we become normalized and now we're just wrestlers. And no one has to affix a pronoun to us to explain who we are other than he's just good.
I'm going to say this. The one thing about Impact, y'all normalized this a long time ago. Shout out to my homeboy Dwayne of the Show Off podcast. Of the Show Off season podcast. Shout out to him. And I told them, I said, Impact had a Black BBW and an Asian chick in the cage killing each other, main events and pay-per-views.
Yep.
Let's be serious. Now you had Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley with the Beatdown Clan, he became world champion. You had R-Truth becoming world champion. You have a Afro-Latina and a Black girl as your women tag team champion. Y'all was the first to really put women on the map. So to y'all is just like the next man up. So that's normal in y'all. Janelle and all of us always say Impact is that wrestling company where y'all weird. I have to say that. Y'all very weird because y'all shot somebody, and on the same show, you put on an excellent match in the tag team division. Like, dang.
But I thought it was great storytelling. Just to
it was.
I'm
it
just
was.
gonna put that on the table.
I'm just saying that Impact.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. But Impact to me is just like they are the definition of what modern wrestling should be. Is next man up. It doesn't matter. It's entertainment. Just go for it. And that's one thing I commend Impact. Like, how the way you talk, I'm looking like D-Lo, you need to say that about y'all company because y'all been ahead of the curve. But it's just everyone else is kind of catching up now. So that's all I had to say about that. But you are right though.
One of the biggest things about Impact, you guys really the industry copies you guys.
Yeah.
If you really want to be real, my brother said it in a nice way. Janelle, nodded with him, but the industry has copied you.
Yeah.
When it comes to a lot of things, I remember when it was announced that Drew McIntyre was going to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania.
Oh, and they posted the picture of them from TNA days.
Yeah, they TNA Impact tweeted it immediately, and it people laugh about it, and I chuckled about it. And I was like, you guys don't waste no time, but it's something that a lot of wrestling fans don't understand is that you guys really do. You guys are really trendsetters. You guys are the first to do it, and then they go, "Oh, that worked there. Let's do it over here."
But it doesn't always work in other places. Like, let's be clear.
No, it doesn't always work other places, and I will say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And we know what we are at Impact. We know what we're doing. And we understand our place in this business in terms of, what we can do, what we can't do. But we know that we push certain people, and you said earlier, the old days was R-Truth. And then, 5 years ago, before anybody would think about Bobby Lashley as a world champion, he was the Impact world champion, and, you look at our tag teams and our ladies division and our ladies tag division. I mean, people of color are all throughout Impact in every aspect of the company, from the office down to the ring crew, and all parts in between.
Wow.
So we are a very diversified company in terms of how we want the world to see us. And if you look at it on our show, we have black, white, gay, straight. It doesn't matter. We go out there and we put our best talent forward, and they go entertain everybody. And that's what we do. We want the world to see the best of all of us, irrelevant of your starting place in life or the color of your skin or your sexual orientation.
Facts. So one of our viewers had asked, what is your thoughts on put up right here? What is your thoughts on MVP and the Hurt Business, and what is your takes on the importance of the faction?
I think the Hurt Business is amazing. I think that picture that M put, and MVP and I are really close friends, so full disclosure. I think the picture that M tweeted out of him sitting down and Cedric and Shelton with the tag belts and Bobby with the world title, and M in that freaking $5,000 suit just sitting there chilling. I was like, that is the image of blackness that we want in wrestling forever. Like that. Back when I was watching wrestling and the only black guy I knew was Rocky King getting beat up, that is the image that should go forward. And every 11-year-old kid who is sitting there and wanting to do this needs to look at that and go, okay, they did that. I'm gonna do the next thing. I'm gonna step one step greater. And to me, I love the Hurt Business. I love that whole group. I love what they're doing. They're trendsetters and they're killing it right now, and it's awesome.
Wow.
That's great.
You mentioned that Jim Cornette, because I tell the boys, I actually listen to Jim Cornette's thing all the time. What was your relationship like with Jim Cornette? Because I feel like he's definitely like either you hate him or you love him. You can't have in between. So
there is no in between. There's no in between with James E. There's no in between. But James E. and I have always been on a great working and personal relationship level. Hell, he drove to my wedding in Miami from Louisville because he wanted to be there. So Jim has never done or said a bad thing about me. And we are friends to this day, and I hold him in the highest respect because he gave me my first opportunity. I understand he rubs people the wrong way and he says things, but there's part of me that's, I know Jim who's the worker, and I know Jim who's the calculated person, and I think sometimes he says things to keep people talking about him.
He knows how to work. He knoes how to work.
He triggers everyone.
He's a master. He's a master of this business. And I think heel 101 is listening to Jim Cornette, and he's heel 101.
Quick question. With the new generation, because we're speaking about Jim Cornette, with the newer generation of wrestling coming along, we have AEW really pushing with the new generation of wrestlers on their roster and everything. What are if you can say it, your honest thoughts of this generation of wrestlers. Because Undertaker did this little thing on the podcast, said some comments. Other older people have said comments about this current generation. So I would love a vet of the business to tell me what he thinks.
I think this current generation is an evolution of the business.
Thank you.
You look back on any sport. Let's take the NFL. Okay. And in 1960,
Chicago Bears fan, we know you're a Chicago Bears fan.
You know it. Look, you know it. But let's say in 1960 and 70, to tackle a guy, you could clothesline somebody, where you can't do that now. So the game is not the same as it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, but the game is just exciting today in 2021, 22. It's a different game, but that's because the world is different. I think I equate it back to wrestling in terms of the talent is different now. They take a different degree of risk that I would never have taken. They wrestle in a manner that I didn't do back then. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's the evolution of where we are today, and they're doing the best they can given the situation. Just like I did the best I could given my situation, just like Ron Simmons did the best with his situation. So it's just a product of the day. And for one generation to take a crap on the next or say it's not as good, that's wrong, because it's almost like saying, the guys who play in the NFL now go, hey, those guys who played in the 80s are crap. But without them, you wouldn't be here today.
Yes.
So it is just a step. It's just the building blocks of how the business has grown. So I give props to the generation that's going now. I wish they'd slow down a little bit in the ring, but I won't say anything negative or disrespectful about them, because they're going out there and putting in work just like I went out there and put in work.
But D'Lo, I like to always say that you and X-Pac are, in my eyes, ahead of the curve when it came to y'all matches. With you always know how to get the best out of anybody. I seen you fought Jeff Jarrett, Mark Henry, the list goes on. Tag team action, you was always the perfect blend. And even with the X-Pac, I remember you was on this podcast, you was talking about y'all whole little European beef. You said something, you said you don't appreciate X-Pac because you're so you hated him so much until you go back and you realize, oh nah, he was nice. He was nice. Yeah, and even with you, where I give you the credit because you see the bigger picture when it comes to wrestling. One thing I noticed within your career is you understand the bigger picture. Mark Henry, he actually to be a chauffeur. You took as much time on screen, you did all the little stuff. It was just like you understand everything. Ace and Ace, your mannerism, your faces, mean mugging, the littlest thing. And you said on another podcast, yes, I watch all your podcasts every time you're on it. Yes, I do. You said you're supposed to capitalize as much as you can. I probably butcher what you said. As much TV time as you can. The head nod, everything like that. Yo, to this day, I still do it. When I eat something good, I go, I mean, we even correlate to sex sometimes, too, when you go down on the girl.
Actually, no.
No, you keep your head straight, and then you, never mind.
No.
See my phone?
Because your phone knows we not about to go into that.
We ain't going there.
No,
I'm just saying we just do it as a joke. Like, yo, gotta do the D-Lo down there. I know what you mean, dogs. Like, yo, you understand the bigger picture. So you talking about
yo, can we stop? We got
no. I was gonna say this. You say what you said about the newer generation. I really feel that it came out of place out of love. It wasn't hate. You just said, y'all great. And I hear it when you say when you're talking. When you talk about the X division.
Amazing Red. What up?
Oh, Lord.
That's just the dogs. But when you talk about the X division, it's just like that. What was that match? It was like 2 pay-per-views ago. It was like someone came in. It was like a Royal Rumble style. I forgot what it called. And the way you called that match, dogs. Oh my God! I know a couple of times that you died and came back to life because the excitement was real. So I know that you love this new generation. I love how you gave it props, but you gave it very constructive criticism, man. I like that. I just had to say that.
Well, well, weren't you like lead agent for that TNA show Gut Check or something of that nature?
Yeah.
Yes.
So since we're talking about talent and all this other thing, we have a large amount of people who are wrestlers in the independent scene. So what kind of advice would you give a person who's in the independent scene looking to get signed?
Good question.
What would you be looking for, and what should they be doing to get attention from bigger companies?
I will say this. The things that I look for, and I still am head of talent relations even while talking on doing commentary. I have multiple jobs inside the company.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The one
Multiple
thing,
checks.
the one thing that I look
We know.
forward to, and I look at the most is find something that separates you from the pack. We all know the same 99 wrestling moves, okay? What makes your headlock different than his? What makes your armbar different than that guy's or that girl's? Separate yourself. Try to branch out and be different. And that will make me notice you. Now, give me something to look at. Let me see how you put a match together. Let me see your psychology, how you build a match. And it's not about a move, okay? One or two moves that never get you hired. I can guarantee you one conversation that's never taken place in any wrestling office anywhere. No one has ever said, I'm going to sign that guy because of his moveset. That has never happened, okay? But you'll get signed by your psychology of the business, knowing how to invoke the greatest response of the crowd that is either in the arena or at home. Now, give me a look. Let me see you look like a wrestler. You take pride in what you're wearing out there. You take pride
What
in
does
your
that
body.
mean?
No, D'Lo,
Yeah,
repeat that, and I want you to break that down because I've been saying this on this podcast for how long, and I was called names. But talk to him. Let's preach, Mr. D'Lo.
Take
Break
pride
it
in
down a
yourself.
little bit.
Look like a wrestler. Your gear. Don't go out there in sneakers and jean shorts and a white beater shirt. Look like you belong. Look like you're somebody. Invest a couple $100 in what you're going to wear to the ring because your persona, your body is your vehicle, and that's what you're trying to sell to people. And if you don't take pride in that, then how would you expect a person who is paying or going to pay to take pride in you if you don't take pride in yourself? That's number one. So look the part. Take yourself to the gym, not Jim's Bar and Grill. Take yourself to the gym. Look like an athlete. Okay? Look, I will tell you this. I came in, I was a fat type of dude when I first got WWE. But I was told if I wanted to stay there, I better look like I wanted to part. And if you look at how over the course of 2 or 3 years, my body completely changed because I wanted
slimmed
to
down.
I wanted to be there. I wanted to look the part. I didn't want to be. There's a difference between being a TV wrestler and a guy who wants to wrestle on weekends. There's weekend warriors and they're career criminals. Career criminals are the guys who get a check from this every week, every day. That's all we do. So look like you want to be there. Because people see you on TV, they may not know what you do, but you want them to know that you do something. Like you're not the normal dude or girl because you're taking pride in the way you look and you carry yourself. And then be professional. Be professional the way you write email. Be professional the way you speak. Be professional the way you handle yourself in the locker room because this is a very small business. And I don't care who you are. It takes 1 or 2 phone calls to find out what you're really like.
Facts.
And it takes 1 or 2 phone calls. So when you send me an email and you're like, hey, this person, and I trained with him, odds are I probably have that person who trains you phone number my phone, and I will make phone calls. And that's something I do on a regular basis. Hey, bro, tell me about Wrestler B, who just said that you're the reference. Okay, cool, done. So those are the things that I look for. Those are the things that will impress those, and not just me, but AEW office or the WWE office or Pro Wrestling Noah or New Japan. It's all, you may think this business is enormous, but it's very small in the fact that, I have the phone numbers of the 5 major offices around the world that I can call or talk to, or they can call or talk to me. And just because we're different companies don't mean we don't talk.
So I got a question. I just I don't play devil's advocate, right? So let's say that I'm an indie star or whatever, and like you tell me about my dress code, right? You said same exact thing, right? But I said, but D-Lo, man, what about dudes like Billy Kidman that when he was in Raven's Flock, he wear a wife beater with his shorts and stuff like that. John Cena, what
That's
about
part of the gimmick?
No, listen, Janelle, I understand that. But people will say this in the comments. People will really tell me, you, or my brother, and saying that one of y'all should have said this. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But D-Lo, what about John Cena? He was wearing this and that and third. But D-Lo, what about that dude in your company? He was with the Wolves. The name skipping my mind. Oh my, he's from Boston.
Eddie
Edwards. Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards. But D-Lo, look at Eddie Edwards, XYZ. They name countless people, Orange Cassidy, whatever. So what would be your response to that?
My response is, do you want to be like one person that got lucky and was able to wear something different? Or do you want to be a wrestler? Because there's an exception to every rule. And do you want to follow the trend of the one who was the exception to the rule, or do you want to follow the rule? And the odds of you being the next one to the exception of the rule are slim to none. Because obviously the company's already got one who's wearing jean shorts or who's wearing a certain look. So which route do you want to take to try to get signed? And yes, I understand. Everyone's going to go, what about? I will then give you listed off 4 or 5 wrestlers. I'll give you 500 who look like they belong in a ring. I'd rather follow the 500 and get an opportunity that way.
Okay. But D-Lo, what if like the whole weight part is I can't lose the weight in my gut because I had a rare disease. So what do you tell them then?
Just make yourself look like an athlete. Not everybody's got to be Ultimate Warrior, okay? Not everybody's got to be, Bobby Lashley. The wrestling business it draws from society. It's a microcosm of society. So not everybody walks around and a girl who's a size 2, and a dude who's got a 32-inch waist. But do the best you can for the frame that you're in. Be the best you can be. Awesome Kong was not a bikini model, but she still looked the part. You know what I'm saying? She did the best she could with her frame. Be the best you can with what you're given.
D-Lo, I want to tell you thank you, because I've been preaching what you've been saying on this podcast about looking the part of looking like a wrestler, but I was called a hater. Thank you. Because I like going to the gym. And people's like, because you like going to the gym, you don't understand. I was like, no, you must look like a wrestler. Thank you for a legend solidifying what I said.
Lord.
Well, it's just...
Now, would you like to ask the great D-Lo a question?
Yeah.
No. But like, yo, bro, but you have to understand though, bro. You have to come from like, you never been fat ever in your life. So you kind of can't say nothing. It's a catch-22. So you never been fat, you never been in that world, but people will shun you like, you don't know how it feels. You don't know that. So your opinion is kind of invalid. I get what you mean. I agree with you. Like, yo, if you really want to lose the weight, like just like D-Lo, the first 2 years in WWE, he definitely looked better. He was brolic and everything like that. I agree with both of y'all. But then again, I'm also the guy who was close to 200 pounds and made that excuse.
But the thing is, so I'm going to tell you this right now. Before, because Janelle wants to ask an important question. I have to go to the gym because of our genetics. I have to be in the gym 5 days a week. I have to be doing cardio 5 days a week. Plus, my coach doesn't play that shit. That's just what it is. And I don't look like Bobby Lashley, so I can't even say that. But Janelle, go ahead, shoot your question. But I was saying, I was right.
Y'all talking about weights and stuff. I'm like, listen, I want some funny stories, and we coming down to the end. They got all serious. I was like,
you want some funny stories, D-Lo? We want to laugh.
So it's actually kind of a two-part thing. So the first part of it is who was the funniest person in the locker room? And the second part
Which locker room,
is
Janelle? Which locker room?
WWE.
You gotta say that, dog.
His career was. And then the second part of it is what's the biggest joke you've done? Because you're just equally probably bad. So who's the funniest and what jokes have you done?
Okay, so without a doubt, the funniest ever in the locker room was Owen Hart. Like, he could make you laugh at the drop of a dime. He would rib you in a good way. He would tell jokes. He would say the slyest thing at the perfect time. Even in the middle of a tense situation, he'd say the perfect thing would make everybody laugh. Like, you could be in that moment where everyone is ready to fight, and he'll say something and everybody just stop and go, what are we doing? This is crazy. So Owen Hart was the absolute best. And we all know that dude. We all have that dude or a girl in our life where they're that witty and they say it right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Times it by 1,000, that's Owen Hart. Now, the funniest thing I ever what can I say on a podcast that the statute of limitations hasn't run out on?
That's a lot of question.
I've hidden cars on people before, like they were stolen.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, I've taken keys out of bags, gone outside, found the car, pushed it, oh there you go, and moved it. And then I'll walk with them as they're going to look for the car and like, what the? Where's my? So I've done that, and the whole time snickering. I've put Nair in body lotion bottles. This ain't funny. Yes, I've done that.
Wow.
And I replaced chocolate with X-Lax.
Oh, that's dirty. That's dirty.
Wow.
That's messed up.
My stomach.
I ain't gonna tell you who or when. I'm just telling you some of the stuff I did.
Oh, okay.
Right. I didn't go that far because
people's asking. Someone asked just now.
Like,
whose car?
Whose car?
I'm not. I'm gonna change the names, protect the innocent.
That's fair because there's still good stories.
I'm just telling you what I did.
So,
that's a lot. That's a lot of effort to be like, yo, I'm gonna go into someone's bag, take their keys.
Oh,
come on,
that's effort.
You got the best ribs are the ones that take effort. You go in there and put work in, and then at the end you sit back laughing and giggling, and it's funny for a half hour watching them walk around the parking lot, look for their car.
So, quick question because I'm the depressed deep one here.
Clearly.
Damn, girl.
Clearly.
How did you get out of the funk of the business? Because the business always breaks down a lot of people. Most people, when you hit that wall, that time where you're just like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing this. How did you continue going forward?
Everything I say or do has the feeling of Ron Simmons because he's like my biggest teacher. So when I repeat stuff and I say stuff, it's just me regurgitating the things that Ron told me. So when I go in, you asked the question of how did I get through the funk of the business? I remember Ron sitting down with me one day, and I was kind of depressed. I just dropped the European title and didn't know if I was ever going to be back in the picture of it again or what have you. And Ron looked at me and he goes, don't try to make sense out of a nonsense business.
That's a bar.
And when he told me that, it just all kind of went. And then it kind of hit me. It's like, you know what? It's just wrestling. It's not life or death. It's just wrestling.
Thank you, D'Lo. Thank you.
So yes, it's serious. Yes, it's a lot of money. Yes, it's big time pressure. At the end of the day, it's just wrestling. I'm not curing cancer. I'm not out there trying to find the COVID vaccine. I'm just wrestling.
I got a question. I hate to bring this up because I have to ask you this. What advice that you will give to a wrestler that injures somebody in the ring that ended their career? those who may not. I hate to bring this up because it's just
It's okay.
It doesn't define your career. But what if dang, D-Lo, don't get offended, man. But I'm not. I want to ask this question. What advice do you give to people just in case they may hurt somebody and their career prematurely? What advice would you give to people out there? I forgot the young man's name. Janelle, please help me with this.
Draws.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
I knew he was saying what I knew.
Yeah, but
you were talking about.
Yeah, so that situation, you ended his career. I know y'all watched the film, everything like that. Things happen. So, what advice that you give to somebody that who went through a similar situation?
My advice is, if you go into the ring to injure somebody, then you should own it and live with it forever. If you go into the ring and it's an accident happened, it is no different than driving on the road and someone hits you going through a red light. Accidents happen. We're not doing ballet out there. There still is, what we're doing is a work, but it's still a physical sport where every second, every time you do something, you take your life or you take your opponent's life literally into your hands. There was one point that I was literally ready to leave the business over the accident with Draws. In talking to him and talking to Jim Ross, they talked me back into it. And from that point forward, I lived my life and my business not just for me, but for the both of us. Because one career ended, it'd be a damn shame for two careers to end. So now I live my career doubly because I'm working for myself and I'm working for Darren.
Dang.
So let's liven this up real quick because we're down a little dark hole. So
right, see, I try to liven up, and y'all just
we keep going down these rabbit holes that are like really dark. I'm gonna turn my light out.
Like, do you understand? They've been talking about you for 2 years, and they want to ask you the saddest stuff. I'm like, guys,
but it's okay.
But okay, the question I got for you though is, I know you married, I know you got kids, but you were the man, and you were living during the 90s, and you were on the road.
You was on commercial, dogs. 1-800-COLLECT with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
How did you control yourself when you out here being the double champion out in these streets? Because back in the day, just want to know real quick.
I will tell you that the guy I am today is a far cry from the guy I was back then. And the guy I am today is very happy in my life, but the guy I was back then, that's probably the reason I got divorced. And I'll leave it at that.
I think that says
I'm a far different dude than I was back then.
What was the switch? When was that turning point for you? Where you were just like, all right, I can't be in these streets no more. Like,
it comes a point in your life when you're like, what am I chasing, and why am I chasing it? And everything I'm chasing, I'm running past what I already have, and what I have is pretty damn good. So why keep chasing what I don't need when I have something pretty damn good right here, really good here? So stay here, stay where you're supposed to be, and life gets so much better.
So I have another question. In your agent mind, because you have a really good mind and focal point, who is the hottest free agent in the business right now?
Oh, that's a hard question right there. Wow.
Give us five. That's
a lot.
Even in general, it's a hard question because, there are very few people on the national level who are free at the moment.
I mean, I know one that I heard a little birdie said the Impact was looking at. So
who's that?
That just got released from WWE.
You tell me.
We're talking about Andrade?
You tell me.
I can't speak on contracts while they're in their 90-day holding period.
He's not on a 90 holding period. We heard.
Correct. I heard he doesn't have. He has no clause. So let's keep talking about this.
I don't speak on contracts. I will just say this. I look for talent, and if I find talent, I try to go get it.
Where do you? So, but go back to the question. Who's some
the hottest?
5 people
You know
looking
that
at?
once again, that's a hard thing. Like there are so many young independent wrestlers out there who are doing their stuff, even in a global pandemic. They're still balling out and doing work and putting work down. To put 1 or 2 names out there would undersell 15 others.
So I'll give you some names, D'Lo. I'll give you some
Okay.
names. I'll give you some names. I need you to look at this tag team. There's 2 tag teams I need you to look at.
Okay.
They're called the main event.
Yeah.
They're both named main event.
Yep.
They are
They do
extremely talented.
do they do a football gimmick?
Yes,
No.
that's one of them. No, that's one of them. That's one of them. One of them does a football gimmick. There's another one called main event that does a circus gimmick. Check them out.
I already have.
Check them out. Also,
got
have
you
you
now,
heard about Ken Broadway?
Ooh. Ken Broadway.
No, but you send me some stuff. You got my number. Send me some stuff.
I will send you some stuff. He is with Hog. He is with Hog, and he is one of the premier faces of the Northeast community.
Send me some stuff because if you can get over in the Northeast, you can get over anywhere. So send me some stuff.
Ooh.
Janelle, how about you? You give him some names. I know Janelle has a good eye for talent.
I mean, I already know you've seen the match. A few matches probably from Darius Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I have.
So that's
I have.
one particular. Who else? Oh my God, there's so many people. I feel like I'm about to put over, and I don't really want to yet.
Here we do. Janelle, since you're the aficionado, get my number, my email address. Send me some stuff. You can send me some. Go, hey, D'Lo, check out this person.
You know what? I definitely will because I feel like I think that's the one thing that we had interviewed Shane Taylor a few weeks ago, and the conversation that we had on camera was basically like we need to be able to come together and help each other. And I feel like sometimes in the business we feel like people's always me, and I mean obviously it's a me kind of business, but the bigger picture, especially for people that look like us, we need to all be like this and not fighting each other and being able to help one another. So you saying that alone is just like, listen.
Yeah, it's big. It's good.
So people can get opportunities.
Remember, I told you I come from the rule of Ron Simmons. And one of the things that Ron always told me is when you kick the door down, your first obligation is to turn around and reach back and pull somebody through with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your number one goal. That's the first thing you do. If you can kick the door down, you're looking to kick it down, pull somebody through with you. So it's all about giving people opportunity. I can't give you anything other than opportunity. It's all on you, but I'm going to help you get in that position where you can have that opportunity for you to fulfill your dream.
D'Lo, have you heard of Darius Carter?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I have friends in the Northeast, so people always tell me, "Hey, you need to check out this guy."
He did the seminar at Warriors that we wanted to sneak into to meet him.
You should have snuck in.
We couldn't.
Yo, one more team, Prolific.
But that's the match. He saw the
at Warriors. She's at Warriors.
Carter.
Oh yeah. So you did see Isaiah Wolf, Marcus Marquis.
But I do have 2 people that you should definitely check out. My guy, you know, he's probably the Thickum crew. My son, big time Yaya. He's a young dude. He's from North Carolina, originally from New York. I'm telling you.
He in terms of think of like when you like he actually kind of reminds me like when you do the frog splash, he does a swanton off the top rope, and he's definitely a Thickum. So to do that, like in his size, it's ridiculous.
Definitely check them out. And another dude you should definitely check out is Darius Lockhart. This man, check him out. Check him out.
So since we're scouting,
go ahead.
Right.
I'll help you understand Darius. Think Darius as not a seasoned Jonathan Gresham. He's in that type of like technical Matt.
Okay, so just flat out wrestle, good wrestling, good technique, just not
Yeah,
as experienced.
it's not as polished as Jonathan. If you're gonna
Okay.
give up that type of feel, that's what he is. Like he's wrestled in England, he's wrestled all over the Carolinas. Like he's
he's on. I think he's on the For the Culture show down in Tampa. And I think it's one of the first few matches he's been, because he's been injured. That's really why he hasn't really been seen. He's been nursing an injury, but definitely we're gonna send you some stuff. We not even gonna take all the time.
Please send me some stuff. And I know down in Tampa, I'm popping into a few shows and just
we
people
definitely
and just,
got a link then, because I'm there.
I'm going to be down there. I know I'll be fully vaccinated by then. Hallelujah. So I'll be down there just, creeping and watching stuff, I'm part of the creeps. I'm part of the creep squad. You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
NYC Wrecking Crew. Don't forget about them. NYC Wrecking Crew. They performed in the Impact Hog show. There was tag team. Yep. NYC Wrecking Crew. Yes, don't forget about them.
Yeah, we that's our bad. We forgot about them.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, my bad.
It's okay. Compile the list. Send me an email.
We're gonna get a list together.
Yes.
We're gonna be professional.
Send me some stuff, because
we also want you to keep, if you can, like July. Just keep it
July
open.
Nah, just say we're doing a show in July called Jobber Slam.
No,
your boy wrestling on there.
Yes, D-Lo, if you can, if you're in the area, please.
Now we'll buy a ticket.
No, I'll fly you out.
We'll fly you out.
Yeah.
We'll fly you out.
That's what a strong black woman does. Just call a brother
That's
out. Don't beat around the bush. Just put it right out there. I will tell you, if I am free and you guys will have me, then I'll be there.
No, you'll be the guest commentator.
I'll put it there. I'll go out. Now you can't afford it. No, I'm only kidding.
You're probably right though.
No, you're right.
There's a budget.
Yeah.
Look,
okay.
Falling on a budget there's nothing wrong with that. Ain't no damn thing wrong with that.
Especially when it's worth it. Trust me.
Wow.
I have one last question, and I think we're gonna probably just wrap up. Everyone has one last question left.
Okay.
It's probably one of the questions that I feel like we all talk about internally, and we just like create groups and factions. But if you were to not replicate, because you can't, duplicate what you guys did in the nation. But if you could,
good question,
kind of make your own 2021-22 version of Nation, who would you put in it?
I think the Hurt Business is doing a good job of being a nation without being a nation.
Okay.
I think they're doing a really good job of kind to recreating what we were and making it 2021. So I dig what they're putting down. I like what they're doing. So to me, they're the closest thing to a nation since there was the nation.
I like that.
That's volumes. Shout out to MVP. That's really MVP.
That's all MVP.
It's crazy that, a year and a half ago, we were all like, he did the Rumble, then he came back and was like, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 matches and then I'm out. And then now, full circle, now we're about to see Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre at the biggest stage of them all with MVP by his side. It is.
And that's another brother I will give props to, because he's another guy who has reinvented himself every few years and kept himself relevant in wrestling. And as a man of color, to keep himself in this business, to walk away from it, to go to a different company, to find himself back there, and to call his shot. Like you said, I'm only going to do 1 or 2 matches. I'm only going to do this. And now he's part of the hottest thing in wrestling right now. And he's the mastermind behind it. M is my boy. I love him. And he's one of those dudes that he's also redefining what it is to be a black wrestler in the world of wrestling.
Honestly, he's slowly being in the same rank as a Paul Heyman, because if he continued to do this, continue to enrich talent, what he did Bobby, Shelton and Cedric, yo, that's the next career move he's gonna be, a manager. And so far, he's doing a great job. I love to see what he will do with a woman. Man, can't wait.
Now that didn't sound right. I'm gonna skip past that.
Dang.
But I will say this: that M is a talker, and talkers are always gonna make money in this business. And
this is why I like that. You cleaned up for me. Thank you.
He can
had no
elevate.
choice.
Well, come on, man, that was X-rated. M
Yeah. It was rough. I was just sitting here like, oh boy.
That was a rough cut right there. I'm be honest. I didn't know where you were going with that. Like,
but guess what? That's exactly how we feel every week on the Java Teams podcast. You just got an introduction.
I
every
feel
week
it.
I'm sitting there like, oh, how do I clean this up?
Woo! That's why I was trying to let me bring this back to wrestling. Okay, so M is a talker, and he is one of those guys who have the gift of gab. He was given that brilliance that he can spit lyrics and he can go toe to toe with anybody. And that is a guy who needs to be around wrestling, not only in front of the camera, but behind it. Because that's a guy who's influential to the wrestling community. He's influential to the locker room. And when you're in front of the camera, he is money when the red light is on.
Oh, so I'm gonna ask a question about one of my favorite wrestlers.
As long as the question is not what M would do with a woman. I just don't want to go there.
No. This is my question is about my favorite wrestler, and that question is when you worked with The Rock, right?
Say The Rock.
Of course he did.
Did you think he was gonna get to the level that he's at like right now, or even to that mega superstar level that he was when he was in the E?
If anyone saw The Rock, including Rocky in 1997, and thought he would become this worldwide megastar, and they told you they could see it happening, they were lying to you. No one saw this coming. Rocky didn't see this coming, but what you did see, and I've said this before, you saw the work ethic that he put in when not on camera. You saw practicing the promos. You saw the dedication to the gym, to the diet, to looking the part, and then studying the game. He and I watched countless hours of matches, sitting in the Red Roof Inns all around this country, studying our craft. Okay?
Wow.
Based on his dedication, you knew he was going to be something. You knew he was going to will his way to something. Then you add in him getting very comfortable in the ring. You add him getting comfortable on the mic. And then perfect timing where his character just took hold. And, at the same time, there's a guy called Steve Austin who's on the other side, and he's this perfect good guy against The Rock, who's this perfect bad guy. And they came together like, Batman and Joker. And it was just perfect timing. And that's what allowed both of them to just blow the roof off buildings. Now, did I see it coming? No. But I had the best seat in the house to watch it, and it was freaking awesome.
I love it.
I have a question. What was one talent or a couple of talents that you was wrong about?
In a good way. Meaning
you should have that. Wow. He don't have it. He won't be a mega, so he won't be champion. Then years later, he's champion.
I remember saying about Mark Henry, I don't think he's ever going to get it. I don't think he's going to put it together. And Mark proved me wrong instantly because Mark had come from that. He didn't come up. He came from a wrestling fan, but he always was in combative sports where wrestling got to give yourself to your opponent. It's hard to explain, but Mark was very stiff and didn't get it at first. He was very rigid. And then a few years later, I remember sitting there going, I missed that boat. Mark Henry is more than I ever thought I'd ever like. He's phenomenal. There are things he does that are better than most people. And yeah, I missed that boat on Mark Henry. And I told him that. I was like, hey, Mark, when we first got together, boy.
It's hard because I powerlifted before I started wrestling, and that's been my hardest thing is being like loose and not grabbing somebody and tossing them across. Like yesterday in practice, we were doing Irish whips into the buckle.
Ooh.
And I literally grabbed the person. I didn't even grab them that hard. I pulled them, tossed them over, and Red had
Did
told
you
me
give them whip flash? Like, what's wrong with
no,
you?
but it wasn't even that hard. But Red came up to me and was like, yo, don't pull somebody like that. You got to loosen up, Wilkins. Because if you pulled me like that, because I'm older in the business, you would have pulled my shoulder out my socket. Like, but it's so hard because when you're coming from a sport where everything is stiff and you got to like get tight, because that's powerlifting. It's creating tension and then pushing through it. So I understand what you're saying, D-Lo. It is hard. And the fact that he became where he is phenomenal. And you knowing that, you just have a good eye for the business because it is hard to transfer. So I can't even blame you for thinking that.
It's very hard. And in every sport, when you're trying to do something productive to the sport, like you said, you tense up, you increase your body focus. Where in wrestling, you've got to let go. It's the polar opposite. And that's why a lot of MMA guys have a lot of hard time transitioning over because they're used to defending themselves. Where in wrestling, you got to give yourself. It'll take too long to explain, but it's just it's a hard transition. And when you've always come from your natural instinct is to protect yourself, where wrestling is you don't protect yourself, you let yourself go. It's one of the hardest barriers. It's one of the hardest barriers to get over when training is to let yourself go.
So we are kind of once again in WrestleMania season. Like now, life is seeming a little normal here and there. And you know they are announced. I'm telling you, this Hall of Fame class is like ridiculously good, and it makes me upset that it's not in front of fans. But my question to you is, when that time comes, because we know it's gonna come, when the nation is gonna go into the WWE Hall of Fame, it's gonna happen. We just gonna wait for your invite, but. Who would you envision inducting you guys?
Wow, that's a great question.
Thanks,
that's a hell of a question. That's a hell of a question. I think if the nation is fortunate enough to get the invite and the call to the hall, there's only one person that can induct us, and that's Ron Simmons inducting us all. He's the architect, but he's the architect. He's the leader. He can do whatever he wants, and he is strong enough that he can induct himself into the Hall of Fame. That's Ron Simmons. That's how
that'll be his second one, right?
That'll be his second one, yeah, because he has.
That'll be his second one because he's in by himself.
Oh,
he's
Mark,
in his Ron
that
Simmons.
Would be his second one.
Yeah,
it'll be Mark's second one. It'll be Godfather's second one. It'll be Rocky and I's first one. But Rocky's got a whole wing of the Hall of Fame to himself. It's just waiting for him to move in.
They just right.
It's just waiting for him to move in. But yeah, everyone would except for Rocky and I would have 2 Hall of Fame rings. But if I'm ever fortunate enough to be even considered for that, to be a blessing, and we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. One question. If I don't ask this, people will get on my head. It was when DX did blackface.
Yeah.
How you felt then and how you felt now about it. Like, wow, that was improper English.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
I got the gist of it. At least that's framed better than him and a woman.
Than the other way.
Yeah, the last one. What I felt in 98 when it was being done, I was totally on board with it because I thought it was a way of sparking our feud and showing the deeper rivalry between the two of us. Now, looking at it back in 21 mindset, I wish we could have done it without blackface. I wish we'd have gone the route without going there. Because if you'd taken blackface away, that skit would have been perfect still. So, I mean, that's the one thing that at the time, and obviously we all grow, I didn't take offense to it until I got a little more learned and a little more seasoning to me as a person, as an individual. And look, I love the skit. I wish we could have done it without blackface.
Yeah, like think about it right now. Even if they didn't have blackface, to see somebody in the big fat suit, X-Pac, it still would be fun.
It would if you took blackface out of there, it would still be a hella skit where it would still create and fuel the rivalry.
I think I'm gonna watch it tonight. I think I'm gonna watch that Raw tonight because my number
was a good one.
Today.
So quickly, I gotta ask this question: did you really think the Nation was a heel group?
Ooh, talk to him, Sir Wilkes.
Because looking back at it, your feud with DX, and I think you guys there was a time that you it was a 3-way feud between DX Nation and the Heart Foundation.
And Heart Foundation, and then what was those guys on the bikes? Oh, and he was in the Nation originally, and it's so funny.
Yeah, it was
DOA.
It was like
yes,
DOA. Yeah.
But like I felt like at the time I was still a fan of the Nation just because they looked like me. But when you're looking back, they portrayed you guys as a heel, but all the stuff that you guys were spitting on the mic was like, we just want equal rights, we want to be respected, blah 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 blah. And I really thought about it a couple of months ago. I was like, you guys were faces, you were legit fighting from the bottom. But what was your opinion on it? What do you think?
I don't ever think, in my opinion, and heel or face is perspective. And from my perspective, the Nation was a baby face because we were just fighting for what we knew we deserved, and we were speaking on what we wanted and what we wanted to attain. And literally, we were going to do it by any means necessary. But I don't think we were heels. We just went after what we wanted that was promised to us, and we were going to take it.
See, but when Rocky had the feud with Ken, I took Rocky as the heel, and all of y'all was behind him. So that's what I thought. Y'all flipped a few times. And like you said, it's perspective. But when Rocky hit Ken with that chair shot,
that's a little different. That was heelish.
Okay. So
I didn't take it that way. Okay. I didn't take it that way.
I took it that way. I said,
if you think about heel Rocky was throwing it back at the fans for the whole die Rocky die. So was he a heel or was he just getting what he wanted?
Exactly. Bars.
Damn.
All this years to realize it makes sense for him to be the Nation. That was the original message. Getting what's yours, having Rocky to be in there made sense. But not Amon Johnson, because y'all beat him every single week on TV. That made no sense.
That's whatever.
We left him an hour ago.
Yeah.
But even with Owen having Owen in the group made sense because you screwed his brother. Get what's coming to him.
In the group made sense.
Yo,
you know what? You know what's crazy? My girl pointed this out. My girl Kanisha pointed this out.
Shouts Kanisha.
You guys were low.
I got Kanisha's bracelet on right now. Look at that.
Oh, there you go. Salad and
props, respect.
Remember when Fred Hampton had like different groups together of different colors, and they were trying to like just find make a change in the world? She was like low key. That was the Nation when Owen joined. It wasn't about color. It was about doing the right thing for society. And I was like, oh shit.
And wanting to change, because that's all Owen from the beginning of his career was just like, I got to come out of the shadow and I got to change the game.
Oh, yeah, Spanish dudes there too.
Exactly.
The beginning of it. It was like it was the United Nations. To be honest with you,
the whole nation wasn't built on Black empowerment. The whole nation was built on the shoulders of we need to change the system,
which was the Rainbow Coalition. Fred Hampton.
And if you look at what the Nation did from day one with Savio and Crush and Ron to every version of the Nation, it wasn't all about Blackness. It was all about, here's what we want. You're holding it back from us. We're gonna take it.
But I will say, those guys that was rapping y'all out in the beginning, they were trash. Like,
Oh yeah, that's a whole
that
different
was
thing now.
that.
You know, and like
I'm sorry.
every gimmick's got its speed bumps along the way, and you got to figure
You
those
know
out.
what? It's true because you just throw you throw stuff on the wall, see if it sticks.
You
I
throw
get
in the
that.
wall, see what sticks, and what
Yeah.
slides off, you get rid of.
But I will just
you know,
say, because I was watching the what was it, 96 Royal Rumble,
mhm,
and I think what's his name, Crush. I think he was number 1.
mhm.
And the guys came out, and the other black dude who looked like he was a part of the Nation of Islam, but he really wasn't. They all had came out with him, and he was number 1. And then guess who was number 2? The same person we was talking about an hour ago.
Oh yeah.
But
And then
you know
and then
what's
the commentary had put, because I guess they was feuding. So the commentary was like, well, he gets 2 minutes alone with him, and I was just like, oh, where's Austin at? Because we already know how this ends.
We already
but you
how
know
that's
what's
going.
crazy?
Clam
How-
Intimation. Yes, that's his name.
You know how when you look back at the Nation and then everybody from the Nation, after the group disbanded, everybody did well.
Mhm.
So there was
yeah.
there was so much talent in that group. Some groups, you know how a group falls apart, like nobody does really, everybody does it. But Mark Henry did his thing, you did your thing, you know. For Ron did his thing, The Rock did his thing.
Mhm.
It was such a strong, beautiful thing after this band. You guys were still popping after that.
They still
to
popping to
me,
this day.
and you know, we're still remembered to this day. The measure of a group, and to me, well, I think the Nation was special. Like you said, every one of us did something afterwards. The Nation wasn't our high point; it was our jumping off point. Whereas a lot of other groups will fall apart, and maybe it was a vehicle for one dude, and he became a star. Like, you know, in the Four Horsemen, it was Ric Flair. It was built around Ric Flair. You know, and the other guys kind of tailed off. You know, Arn and Tully kind of tailed off. The thing about the beauty of the Nation is, after it ended, we all kept going. You know, Godfather became Intercontinental Champion. I became the Eurocontinental Champion. Mark Henry won the world title. Rocky not only conquered wrestling but conquered the box office, and Ron is just a legend. So we all kept going, and that's why the Nation is so special to me. Is nobody got left behind. Everyone achieved something after the Nation, went away.
Yeah, I think the only groups that you can kind of say that
Evolution,
nowadays,
Innocence, Evolution,
Evolution.
But it's only
But
like
that's
5
kinda
groups.
like
I think about it.
It's halfway with Evolution, but Evolution to me, I could think of the Jumping Stone because that, Randy's career.
Randy jumped off from there.
That.
Batista jumped off from there. Evolution.
I would say the Shield.
The Shield.
The Shield's another one. All three of those became world champions. So, and in Mox's case, become world champion in a different company. So Shield's another good version of it.
But it's really you guys and the New Day. Say what you want, even though they did a little split, they are pushing towards, like, Kobe became champion, but they were still kind of together. But they
to this day,
low key. But I just feel like what you guys did for each other, it was like a true brotherhood that, like, after you guys still did your thing, and it's stamped into history. And I can't wait for you to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. I know you're super modest about it, like,
right,
I don't know.
like, if somebody sends me an invite, I'm like, man, listen, they already know.
You D'Lo Brown, dogs. The real deal now. You down with the Brown?
You better be.
That sounds wild. That sounds wild.
Yo, D'Lo Brown made it up in the attitude. He made it up in the Ruthless Aggression era. And my favorite skit with Teddy Long.
Now
you're
blaming him.
No, Coach asked him, what flavor is haterade? He said vanilla because that's the only flavor that I hate. Come on, B. Classic line from Teddy Long.
That's a bar, by the way. That's a whole bar.
It was him and Ronnie Mack. Come on, B. Come on. Yes, D'Lo. I know you're history, dogs.
I want to give you some more flowers. A while ago, I read this interview with Rich Swann, and he said that you're the reason why he continued to wrestle. Let me know if this story is correct. So, for people who don't know, Rich Swann did an interview. He said that this is after he got released from WWE. He had a few signings to do. He was at a Comic-Con or something of that nature. And he's doing signing. I think he left his table and go to the restroom. He comes back. You're at his table and you tell him that he needs to continue wrestling. You heard him thinking about quitting and that they need more faces like him and more talented individuals like him in the business. If you really did that, thank you, because what Rich has been doing lately, I applaud you for keeping that man in the business.
But listen, tell them don't let him job out to Kenny Omega. Don't do it. I hope that whatever match it is, that it's fair. It showcases Rich, because that's my fear. Because I don't want him to go no, don't. Lord.
I will say that I didn't keep Rich in the business. I just gave him a piece of my mind and let him know what I was thinking about what his future should be. And Rich made the decision to stay in. And we had a nice conversation. We had a nice conversation, and I told him what I felt, and he took it to heart.
You kept him in the business.
Thank you, Dino.
Long story short, thanks. We appreciate you.
Thank you for being bodied, but no.
I got to say that I have a front row seat to watch everything Rich Swann does, and every time he's in the ring, I consider myself blessed to see what he does out there, because he's so talented. He's so amazing. He is a next level talent that is just scratching the surface of what he is and will be to this business. And I hope there's an 11-year-old me sitting there watching Impact, looking at Rich Swann, going, "Damn, I can do that because he looks like me."
I want to ask a quick question, because you guys, Impact as an organization, gets a plethora of talented individuals who do amazing things on your show, and they leave. They go to bigger companies like the AEW. And I know it's the business and that's what's going to happen. But is there ever a part of you that's like, damn, I wish he kind of stayed, but I understand it?
Well, that's a normal part of the business. It's if someone's presented with another opportunity, another challenge that they want to go after, I can't hate them for it. I just go, you know what? You're doing what you feel is best for the next step in your career. So you know what I do? I go find the next man or woman up, and I go deep down back into the lab, and I find the next one. So then somebody in 3 years is trying to steal this person from me. That's all. That's what you do. You go find that next. You give an opportunity to that next talented individual, and put them on a platform to show themselves to the world. I mean, that's all you do. You don't hate the person leaving. You pat them on the back. You say my number, my phone is always open to you. You can call me anytime you want. Best of luck. Go kill it. Go kill it at the next level. Now my job is to focus back on what I have and make and elevate that up.
Because I was a little like, damn, Valkyrie's leaving. I liked what she was.
Oh, I thought you was talking about. I thought you were going to mention EC3 leave, like his little stunt, and then him now getting signed to ROH. I thought that's what you were going to talk about.
I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, who have left. Ethan Page left, and Valkyrie leaves, but you move forward.
It's a revolving door.
It's you happy you gave them the tools that can move to wherever they want to go. And on a selfish note, there's a piece of me in their knowledge everywhere they go. So to me, I'm happy with that. I'm good. Go on, and maybe you can help change the culture in a different locker room. The way our locker room is here, maybe you can take some of that to other places you go.
Okay.
Quickly.
Wait.
Hold on. We have to talk about the forbidden door being open. I know you are super media trained, so you're not going to give me any spicy hot take. But
at all.
At all. You are trained very well.
It's a lot of years in the business.
My man out here finessing. I'm like.
But when the idea was approached to you guys about this crossover happening, what was your initial thought?
I thought it was something that hasn't been done in wrestling in 50 years. You know, for companies to come together or to work together or have talent jumping across borders. I thought it'd be exciting. I think of the dream matchups in my head, like we all do. You know, as a fan, you sit there and go, "What if?" You know, long before it was Rich Swann and Kenny Omega, I was like, "What if Rich and Kenny got together? What if the Good Brothers can go against FTR?" You know, like you think about these things, and it's like the possibilities are there now. Before it was never. It's a guessing game. You could never see these guys in the ring together. You could never see the girls in the ring together. Now, the door is broken down, and now there's a free flow of talent between companies. It's an exciting time right now. I mean, if you can't take down the big dog, do something different that gets you noticed. And that's what we're all doing now, is doing something. Because think about it. People are talking about Impact and AEW. People are talking about New Japan and Impact. We're on the forefront of people's minds now, where a year ago maybe you didn't think about Impact in that first breath, but now you're like, oh, Kenny Omega, Rich Swann, they're going belt for belt. Holy hell. Like, that's cool. And I can't wait to see where it goes next. You know, I'm still in this chapter of the book, but this is only the first chapter in a big, big book, and I can't wait to read all of it.
Right, because I'm sitting here waiting for when AEW is going to start using Impact women's division, because you guys have the second best women's division, in my opinion, as a fan, and they need all the help that they can get. I'm just going to say that. But
our knockouts are fire. Every one of them, they're fire. Like, you can put any of them in a match with anybody, and they're going to shine in the ring.
Yep,
they are fire.
Facts.
Put the title on Tasha. Oh, I said that out loud.
I mean, of course, because you know Tasha's family, so you know
exactly. Shout out to Tasha.
Put the title on Tasha still.
So I'm just saying, you know,
she already got tag titles. She doing all right for herself right now.
I mean, she could be steals two
belt steals. Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't hating on it. Just come on now.
But I'm just saying. I hope that, you know, because we talk about it on the podcast all the time, where, you know, who benefits the most, and I mean, as fans, we all benefit. As the company, like you said, everybody's talking about Impact now more than they did a year, 2 years ago. So it ends up working out. But in terms of that crossover talent, my hope and my wish is that some of these Impact knockouts get some of that AEW TV, and then that's the crossover, because a lot of the crossover has been the guys. So I'm just sitting here waiting, like,
when the women's.
My phone keeps falling. Yeah.
What we gonna see?
But what about
I
Chris
agree.
versus Darby Allin?
What?
See, like, I think the world of Chris Bay. I think you guys don't know the personal connection I have with Chris Bay. I think the world of him. I think he can go out there and compete with anybody. I mean, he is like, and I think I put it over too much in commentary. I think he's like the future of the X division, because I throw too much flowers.
Yes.
I throw too many flowers on him at times because I don't want to overshadow who he is. And I would love to see him go against anybody in the AEW roster, because I think his match would be on point, and he would steal the show. He would steal the moment. Like, he would take it for his own. He would own it. Yeah, so Chris Bay is – I give props to his teacher. Oh, wait, that's me. Never mind.
Bars.
He said, hold that. Let me pat myself on the back.
Look. You remember Barry Horowitz?
Yeah.
D'Lo, I just want to say this from a viewer. He said, when I was in high school, his name is Andre. When I was in high school, I used to do the D'Lo pat and head shake because you was one of my favorite wrestlers. I did it so accurately that I ended up the nickname D'Lo. Later, I was nicknamed Drelo, and I'm still called that by folks I went to high school to this day. Just thought you should know that the impact you had on me, no pun intended. God bless you, good sir. God bless you. People love you out here, D'Lo. We love you.
I will tell you, I'm humbled, and I'm honored that I had impact on young fans the way Ron had an impact on me. and it's just an evolution of moving it down the road to inspire the next. And I am so grateful that I was put on a platform and I was given the opportunity to inspire the next generation. And the fact that, I haven't been in a ring competitively in, 10 years, and people still know me and appreciate the work I put down. And that's humbling, and I take it to the heart.
So
one of our
you-
go ahead, guys.
Oh, I was going to say this.
go
One of
ahead.
our viewers just asked you this question. Shout out to Ronnie of the Backstreet Boy podcast. Do you think Vince opens that door? Randy, sorry, my bad, King. Do you think Vince opens that door?
The invisible door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever see, in my opinion, I don't see Vince working with outside talent, because that would legitimize everybody else in Vince's world. And so I think he'll stay off on his company will stay off on an island by themselves. And he can have his spot. He owns it. He's the greatest promoter in the history of the wrestling business. Go on. We're just going to take what we have over here and we're going to do the best with it.
There you go.
Janelle, spit your facts.
No, I mean, he mentioned that he hasn't been in the ring in 10 years. So I'm intrigued that if you ever thought about dusting them boots off, who would you wrestle?
Oh, that's a good one. Wow. I'd love to get into it, Moose. Like,
Whoa.
I would. His athleticism
right.
is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd love to get into it, Moose, or like an Eddie Edwards or a Rich Swann. Like those three, I'd love to get in there like in my prime deal. Yeah, put me in there with those three all day long.
Ooh,
Now, if I'm gonna come out of retirement, because that'd be a lot of bumping too. If I'm in there with Moose, he's gonna kick my ass. Right now, I don't know. Maybe it's tag team.
That's bump.
Wait till you get that hot tag in, and then you be
Yeah,
like, all right,
I'll come in like a house of fire, man. I'll tear it up. There's no bumps in the hot tag.
Prime D'Lo versus Big E.
Someone say,
You know what? Yeah, I mean, I would love Big E would be a good guy to go in there against Prime D'Lo. I've never had a match with Randy Orton, which would have been fun.
Wait, what?
Never.
What?
We kind of missed each other.
Yeah.
Yep, we missed each other. We were. I was right at the tail end of mine. He was right at the beginning, and we missed each other.
Well, yeah, because not most, but the beginning of his career, he was injured a lot too.
Yeah.
He
He first came in and he blew his shoulder out right away in like one of his first couple matches. And then I was gone. I went to Japan. That's when he blew up. And then when I went back there in 2008, he was off doing his thing, and I came in for a minute and then bounced right back out again. So we never.
Wow.
We never got to be in the ring together. So I'd love that. I think he's tremendous in-ring talent.
Yeah, he's amazing. How was your time in Japan? I know we gotta go soon, but how was your time in Japan? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
In Japan, okay, here in America, wrestling is a show. Okay, it's theater and around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Japan, wrestling is the third most popular sport in the country behind baseball and sumo. So they don't look at it as entertainment. They look at it as legitimate sport. So you're treated like any pro athlete that's in Japan. You're respected that way. So when you're out there and you're performing, the Japanese crowds are so respectful. Like anything, if you can do something better than they can, they appreciate you for that. As opposed to a lot of places, they'll put you down for doing something that they can't do. So I had so much fun in Japan. I love the culture. I love the people. I love the wrestling. Hell, I climbed Mount Fuji twice. That's how much I loved it there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So I my time in Japan was probably the single most exhilarating 7 or 8 years I had in my life, because it was just, I wanted to be there so desperately, and I wanted to be there because back in the day when we were tape traders, before there was the internet, we would tape trade at shows. I would get a lot of Japanese stuff, so that's how my early indoctrination to wrestling was not just only seeing stuff on TBS or the local stations near Philadelphia, but we would it was VCR and tape trading, and you'd see you see Giant Baba wrestling Stan Hansen, and Misawa wrestling Kawada, and it was like, oh my God, what is this? And it wasn't the show, it was just wrestle, which has always been my core of what I love. The show business part of it, you gain that along the way, but that core of wrestling is what drew me to it. And when I saw Japanese wrestling, I'm like, oh, these guys are for real, aren't they? Like, this is legit stuff here. So I've always wanted to go there. So when I finally got to go there, it was like a dream come true.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys.
Janelle?
Any last words before we sign off? Because I feel like we could talk all day, all night.
Yes.
And that is actually a beautiful thing, but
I got to be up at 4.
we all got lives.
Oh hell, it's late for y'all. I will just say this. I appreciate all fans out there. Please tune in to Impact on Access TV every Tuesday night at 8:00. Let us know
It's
how
also
you
on
feel.
Twitch.
It's also on Twitch. Hey, if you got the internet, you can get Impact.
Thank you.
That's a sales plug. I hate people say I don't know where Impact is. If you got the internet, if you got Wi-Fi, you can find Impact.
Yep.
But thank you for your continued patience in me and your letting me know how I'm doing on commentary. You can guys hit me up on my social media at DLoBrown75. I'm always there. I'll talk wrestling. I'll talk Chicago Bears football. I'll talk Liverpool soccer, and I'll talk Impact all day long. So hit me up, and I'll say to you guys again, thank you for having me on.
No problem.
This is a highlight for me, and I appreciate being on the podcast with you guys. And thank you for having me.
Nah, don't say
right.
that.
Like, I was just like, no.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank you.
This
for taking
has
the
been a
time.
2-year project to getting you on.
Yes.
Seriously.
Well, let's not make it 2 years before I'm back on again, okay?
Oh, you come on 3 weeks.
Book it. I got back in 3 weeks. All right, let's do it.
We are doing, for anybody who's watching this, we will be because we do viewing parties for pay-per-views. We will be doing the next Impact, a viewing party for the next Impact event, which is going to be Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. So we will be doing a viewing party for that. We are fans over here of Impact. We enjoy it.
Oh yes.
So we got love for Impact, and we definitely got love for you, D-Lo. And anything else, guys, before we let the legendary D-Lo go?
Look. Go ahead. Hug him through the. Go ahead, hug him through the screen. Go ahead.
Hug it out.
There you go. Hug it out.
I'll be honest, say much. This episode been full of me giving you flowers. This literally is a boyhood dream, meeting D-Lo Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited because when my brother said that we got the news, I was excited all day at my job. I was like, D-Lo Brown. So
he didn't even respond.
I was like,
in our group chat, he didn't even respond
because it was so exciting, man. And meeting you, D-Lo Brown, asking the question I want to always ask you about everything, man. Keep on doing you, man, because like you said, like I was a little boy watching you on screen, imitating you at school at home. Ask my brother, like I was doing all of that movement. To this day, I still do it. And D-Lo, man, I know you're being humble, but like your impact that you had in the game is amazing because you understand the bigger picture. So D-Lo, keep on killing it on commentary because you made it so enjoyable. Like I could close my eyes and I could still imagine what's going on in the ring. You and your partner,
Matt Striker,
a Queens native. Shout out to him for using 6 days and doing his wrestling shows. Shout out to you for doing that, chasing your dream. But D-Lo, man, thank you Thank you for being you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for even coming to the show to make a couple of boyhood dreams come true. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
Appreciate it.
thank you so much for joining us. This has been a really we've had the pleasure of interviewing some really, really legendary people. Like we had we had Crime Time on. We've had Leo Rush on. We've had so many different people, but this one in particular has been really special for us. It's been 2 years in the making, and for us, like you thank us, but no, we truly thank you for taking the time, for giving the gems, because there are people that are training that we know that are definitely going to take your advice, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time, because it's never easy. So it's a pleasure to be able to talk to you in real time, and we truly appreciate it. And once again, you guys can catch this episode along with other episodes of the Java Tears podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all over, all streaming platforms. But once again, we do truly thank D'Lo Brown for joining us this evening on the Java Tears podcast. Any last words before we go, guys?
No, thank you. We love you. Hopefully we see you again. No, but like, listen. Like I said, like my brother said it, you've said it. Your mind for the business is amazing.
And can't take that for granted.
Literally everything you were saying, my coach says this to us all the time. Those tips that you gave about how to make it into the business, that's exactly what he says. And what Impact is doing in general, being that, I just quickly, we always compare wrestling to the rap game. And there's a record label called Empire, which all independent rappers go to because they're like a distribution. They distribute people's albums. That's what Impact is. Independent wrestlers go there. They learn the business. They learn everything. They get TV exposure, and they become fucking stars. Chris Bay was a star in the independent scene, but he's an even bigger star. Rich Swann got a resurgence of life. Moose is the best Moose I've ever seen in his career.
Wait, hold on. D'Lo, whose idea was it to bring back a title that was in somebody's closet? I need to know this before we do go. I'm so sorry, because I got on them about that plenty of times. I was like, how dare they give this man a title that doesn't exist?
But it was done to make you mad at Moose for bringing back a title that didn't exist.
Exactly.
It was done to piss you off.
It didn't piss me off. It just confused me. And
yes, it did.
Okay, no,
yes,
it did piss me off. No, it did.
It pissed you off.
Right.
I can see your face. It pissed you off. But that's what it was meant to do.
I said, whose backlog stories
did
they dust the title off?
It then became an official title, though. But it became an official title, though.
And then y'all made it official. What? Okay, no, we gonna because we be on here a whole other hour.
Because think of the enormity of when Rich battled Moose. That match with the added title meant more than Rich versus Moose. You add two titles in line, it's bigger.
I get it. All right.
And now you got two-strap Rich Swann.
Yeah, you got Rich two belts.
But listen, listen.
You got the past in one hand and the future. Boom. Impact and TNA.
And then now the match between him and Kenny means even more.
Means more because now it's literally 3 titles on the line.
All right, y'all want to stack up titles, but anyway, as I was saying, thank you, D'Lo, so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. Let's do this again so we don't have to, so that they get their lives together and he don't talk about,
We'll get that. Yes, and make I don't want to talk about M and what to do with a girl. I don't need to go there.
No.
And then send me that list of talent so I can look it over.
I definitely will, and definitely have to link down in Tampa because, I'm definitely supporting my sis, Miss Faye Jackson. It's her great sweatpants. So
if I can find
also July.
If I can find some great sweatpants, I might be part of it. But you didn't hear me say that.
You need a pair of sweats? You need a pair of sweats?
You didn't hear me say that.
Just send me,
I should have put I should put my Creep Squad shirt on. I got it right in the closet.
Yeah.
Nah, but the
Thank
lie.
you so much. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
Thank you guys for that's been viewing and that's been commenting. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc and the infamous D-Lo Brown. Hashtag Black Excellence. Hashtag we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans. You gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes and Noble.